And we're back from our crash. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Alright, after a minor hiccup, Travaldo has arrived, and he's doing all the wrong things here. So let's set him straight. Well, that ought to do it. Okay, we're all set on this one. Let's do the other one. Meanwhile, we got lots of crying going on over here. Okay, turns out we got a small problem over here. He's stuck. There we go. Okay, let's forget the mopping here. Come on, any day now. All done. Nice. Now we can get an oxygen supply pipe in here. Alright, that should do it. We can go ahead and send Travaldo back now. Alright, so back here, let's look at the toilet situation. Alright, so what we should do for now is connect this up. And over here. That should do it. Alright, let's put that back for now. We're going to need this pipe for naphtha and petroleum. Alright, so back to this Tamer. We're going to need to drip some naphtha in here to close this up. So let's see here. Alright, this pipe is empty. There we go. That should do it. Alright, we can reconnect the oil. There we go. And then over here, we just wait for the naphtha to pass. And then we can reconnect this. There we go. And we're also going to need some petroleum. That should be okay for now. There we go. And reconnect the water. Done. Alright, let's have a look here. There, we're going to have 3 and 3. And these vents are currently disabled. And we cut this pipe for now. It should just stop right here. Come to think of it, we're going to do a couple of alterations here to make sure that this is fully vacuum sealed all the way around. We really don't want to have the steam come into contact with anything other than metal tiles, which can easily transfer heat. And if we have a vacuum seal all around, it's gonna, well, none of the heat is gonna leak out to the outside. And one other thing is we're gonna put an Aquatuner in here, and we want this Aquatuner to be in contact with some liquid, so naphtha in this case, so we can have quite a bit of mass here. So we're gonna put 10 kilos of naphtha in these two tiles here, and then 20 kilos in each of these. That should be fine. We could do 30 kilos in each tile, but I don't want to bother getting more naphtha. We keep getting critters in here, so I think what we'll need to do is have a very simple and elegant solution. That ought to do it. Okay, so now that we got naphtha up here, we can get rid of these vents. And that's where we'll put an Aquatuner. Even before there's any steam, the Aquatuner can heat up this area. So everything is hot, and this way the steam will never condense. Meanwhile, over here, what we got going on is we're going to collect all the seeds, allow manual use, and we enabled all the seeds because we're going to need those at the main base, particularly mealwood and some of the other ones. Oh, looks like we got a pufflet egg and some other stuff. Yeah, we can prioritize all the farming at the main base. We're going to build a large steam chamber up here, and that's where we're going to collect all the steam. And after that, it will go into steam turbines. So the advantage of collecting steam in a setup like this is it's kind of like in Factorio, you know, where you can store lots of steam versus storing power in electric batteries. It's the same thing here. So you can store up a whole lot of steam, and essentially that's your energy storage, and then you can fire up the turbines whenever you want. versus some of the other designs where you have to use the steam pretty much immediately. Otherwise, this thing will back up and stop producing. So, yeah, more about that later. Let's see what's printing. Copper ore. We'll take that for now. Yep. And it looks like we got seeds over here that came from the other side. We got mealwood, waterweed, and we're gonna build some farms in the next episode. So that's gonna be interesting. I think a good area to build a large farm is gonna be right here. There's a nice piece of real estate which we can use in the next episode. Okay, now that we've finished with this bottom half over here, we can open up these two vents and the naphtha into these two tiles. Let's do that. And then we can just get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. Done. Okay, so now if steam does erupt at any point, it's not going to be able to get past this point. But we got lots of time, so that's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and set up an Aquatuner. And got to make sure I make it out of steel. I think this should be fine. And then we can connect all of this plumbing as such. And let the petroleum in. Well, that ought to do it. And these vents will remain closed because the automation is disabled. So actually we could open them for a little bit. So let's actually do that. And the reason we're going to do this is we want to have a little bit of petroleum so it comes into contact. That way all the metal and the liquids come into contact. So when this guy starts heating up this naphtha, it's going to transfer the heat to all the metal tiles. We're going to go ahead and set these to 300 grams. And then we'll drip just a little bit of petroleum here. If some petroleum drops down there, that's no big deal. Meanwhile, over here, Abe continues to dig. And he's going to dig down here to create a pit. And then up here, we're just going to drain all this water down and then get access to this kitchen. And eventually we'll create a liquid lock and access the surface. Which is a lot of surface up here. That should be interesting. Alright, let's drip some petroleum. There we go. Perfect. And some of it will drop down there, no big deal. And now we're going to go ahead and set these back to 0.1 grams. And now we're just going to excavate the rest of this up here. And we got to bring some power to this Aquatuner. Okay, here we go. So what we got going on here, let me turn the power overlay. We have the mains coming in. On the primary, we have this puny wire. And on the output, we got this big fat wire. And this is because we want to power this thermal Aquatuner. We can't power it off this puny wire because there's just not enough current. It's going to limit it at 1000. This needs 1200. And the power transformer lets the current to be limited to this secondary here. Charge the battery. And once the battery has enough charge, it's going to power this Aquatuner. And it's not going to be able to run like all the time, but it's going to run some of the time, which is better than not running at all. Okay, let's keep going. Now, this guy says here it doesn't have any load. That's because I've disconnected this for the time being. Otherwise, this battery is just going to generate heat and charge and draw power off the main for no reason. Okay, we're going to need the plumbing for this first. Alright, let's see what's printing. Barbecue. That's always welcome. And again, who left the meat lying around? Gotta pick up this meat. It's these critters. They just keep dying. But that's okay. And over here, Abe is... Where is Abe anyway? We're gonna have to move his bed because these annoying shine bugs just don't let him sleep. This guy has to just sleep on the floor. That's terrible. Yeah, that doesn't work. Anyways, once he's fully awake, he's gonna sort out this bed. in meantime. All right, we're going to connect all the plumbing, and we're going to put the steam turbine on top. And also I switched out the power here for copper because we don't have enough gold. Come to think of it, we're going to move the battery out here so it doesn't overheat. Let's go ahead and set this to 20 degrees. Alright, we're going to rearrange the plumbing a little bit here. Let me show you. Here we have two bridges, and the outputs are linked together and the inputs are linked together. And this creates a little buffer for like one packet. There is a shutoff here with a sensor, and if the sensor detects that the water is cold enough, it's going to open the shutoff. Otherwise, it just keeps recirculating. And then the steam turbine will just simply top up the water. This is based on a design by another cool steam vent Tamer by Tony Advanced. I'm going to link that in the description below. But the difference here is that this runs continuously until it extracts all the heat from the water, and it does not output hot water. Whereas in Tony's design, it outputs both cold water and hot water. Alright, looks like our teleporter has recharged, and I think we're going to go ahead and let Abe back to the main base. Because we're currently running out of food, so he can go back here later. But for now, we got what we wanted, which is the mealwood seeds. So, he's back. Alright, construction's going on. We're going to be just dumping the water down here for the time being until this gets cold enough, and then we can let dupes in there. Let's add a little bit more automation here. Just so things don't go wrong. We're going to be checking the temperature here. If it's too hot, the Aquatuner is going to stop. And the turbine is only going to kick in if the pressure of steam in here is high enough. We're going to set the atmos sensor to above 20 kilos. So if there's at least that much steam, only then the turbine will start. And we're going to set this to below 200 degrees. So that way the Aquatuner is not going to melt down. Okay, let's button this up. And then we're going to push our way diagonally over here. Create a little cubby out of vacuum. And then put a vent here because we can't build a vent diagonally, unfortunately. Only tiles and pipes and certain other things. Up here, we can put a layer of water. So let's do that. What we're going to do is we're going to get the water from over here. That should do it. That should be enough to start. And we're going to set this thermosensor over here to below 15 degrees. That's when it's going to open the shutoff. And now we just got to supply the power. So let's connect the wires. That should do it. This Aquatuner is going to start heating up the Snatha, which in turn is going to heat up everything else. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's starting to warm up. We want to get it above 100 degrees. Alright, just going to get this vent in here, and then we're going to button it up. Oh yeah, and one other thing we should do quickly is, I think, cut this pipe here. Yeah, otherwise we might have a flood. Potentially. There we go. Now we just button this up. Now let's see what's printing. Oh wow. Okay, we'll take that. Might cause a problem around here though. Start clamping on people. And snipping. Oxygen is a little bit low. I think we should... let's crank this up. That ought to do it. For now. Alright, that's close. Oh boy. Problem. Yeah. Maybe not, actually. I have an idea. Alright, let's go ahead and connect the pipes. Alright. So check this out. Technically, this could be a liquid lock, I think. Let's try this. Now we dig this out. That should prevent oxygen from getting in here. Yeah, still a vacuum. Nice. Let's go ahead and seal this up. And Bob's your uncle. That's it. We got a vacuum. We got this liquid lock sort of thing. And then it'll just spill to the side and down here. And this is going to help to cool this area. And then it will just fall down here where it gets picked up by a pump. Now we could just connect the pipe directly and we'll do that. But for now, this helps to cool it. Okay. So we need to generate more heat. So what we'll do is we'll connect this pipe over here. And we're going to keep feeding it until this gets hot enough. Then we'll cut the pipe. And let's set this to 25 degrees. 30 is a little bit too conservative. There we go. And fills up and runs. And flushes. Nice. So that should heat things up nicely. Yep. And this is made out of steel, so it's got quite a bit of buffer. One thing we should do is we should connect these two together because this section is not heating up. If you see here, it's still at room temperature. So we're gonna put a tile here and that should fix everything. Another thing we should do is add some water over here. So let's do that. That should be okay. Done. Alright, this machine is pretty much done. So I think it's just a matter of waiting it out till it erupts. As for now, I think we'll call it a day. And we'll pick up in the next episode. This has been Greasy Hammer. If you like this video, then smash that like button. And subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.